Public speaking is one of the best things you can do for your business and your personal brand. Hi, I'm Moby, and today I'm going to be asking Sujan Patel a lot of questions about how he got started in public speaking. How are you, Sujan?
Good, let's do it.
Let's do it. So tell me, when did you start your public speaking career? As one of the things you do.
Yeah, one of the things I do to build my brand, like
Yeah.
you said, highly valuable, is public speaking. Speaking at conferences, networking events, workshops, what have you. I've started speaking in 2008, and I've sucked. I still suck.
Okay.
I think I still suck. I'm my own worst critic. But like, I've been doing this for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Most of my talks have been in the last 3 years. Since 2015, I've been actively making an effort to speak. So 2015, I did 5 conferences. 2016, I did about 25 conferences and talks. And 2017, I did a whopping 43 talks.
So in the after the first 6 years of your career, then 6, 25, and then 40.
Yep.
Wow. When you started this off, what are the first few things that you put into this?
Yeah, so I think ultimately it starts with getting your first one.
Yeah.
There's no way around getting your very first talk. You need to figure out where that's at. How do you enter? How do you penetrate, right? Most of the time you're competing with people who have done it for a long time. They're really good. They have well-known brands. So first and foremost, you need to figure out what's your angle and your entry path. And number 2 is what you need to build a personal brand. So you may not need to build a personal. You may need to start like years before you actually want to speak, right? So I started working on building my personal brand, blogging, doing webinars, podcasts, to the point where I had something reputable. I had some sort of positive reputation before I would start pitching somebody.
So that's the personal brand part. What about the angle and entry point you mentioned?
So my angle, and I recommend this for everybody, is figure out who you know that's also speaking at conferences. The best way to get a speaking gig is to get an intro from another speaker, hands down.
Really?
Yeah. And most of my speaking gigs come from inbound, referrals from other speakers. As I help other speakers get their own stuff, we help each other. It's an ecosystem, and most of it now comes inbound. But the first 4 or 5, I worked my butt off to get my first one.
Which was your first one?
I don't know.
Oh, you
forgot.
Yeah.
It's faded into my
you've done so many.
abyss. Yeah.
Okay. So when you were starting off, you said you sucked.
Yeah.
What were the?
I still suck too.
That's okay, but you're getting better every day.
Yeah,
every day is about sucking less. What'd you do to get better in the start?
Yeah, so I think I have a video actually. We'll link it into the comments below or the notes. But I have a video on public speaking tips for introverts. I'm a very introverted person. I expend all of my energy when I public speak, to the point where like I'll hang out afterwards and I'll have to go into my hotel room. Usually I'm traveling for it, or like I just can't talk to anybody for a while afterwards. Just like expend all the energy. So you have to figure out like what kind of personality you are. And most people are going to get nervous, going to get awkward. So some tips are, figure out the first, like you really need to rehearse the first 5 minutes, right? Because that's when like you're scared, you're nervous. Like after you get a flow, it's like that in that scene in Anchorman. It's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And he's on stage, Will Ferrell's on stage, he says some stuff and he's like, I blacked out, what just happened? That kind of happens to me. I don't really know what I'm going to say, and every time I do it, it's different. Slightly different, slightly tweaked. But I practice the first 5 minutes because that is what it needs to be well rehearsed.
Okay, so you mentioned just your overall growth in public speaking gigs, how you got better. Why should people do this?
Yeah, I mean, so the ROI and the benefits of public speaking are, there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
Build your personal brand. When you have a relationship, when we're talking, you can see me get excited. I'm going forward. I have my hands out. You have respect because there's somebody on stage. There's maybe 10 people, 100 people, thousands of people forced to listen to you in a quiet room. You have a microphone. You're controlling the room, right? Even if you're said the complete stupidest things in the world, they're on the screen. You're up there. People are listening.
Relationships?
So I think the thing is just commanding, being there and commanding the attention. But relationships is the single biggest ROI I've gotten from this. So what I mean is meeting other speakers, connecting with a few attendees, I usually always meet like 5 or 10 really awesome people, and I get to talk to people who may have read my blog. Maybe they give me some feedback. They may give me an idea. Like meeting people and getting off the internet is a big thing. Building the relationship with people. I have met people who I've acquired a company from. Actually, a couple of companies I've met potential leads for acquisition. I've met clients that have turned into people who have turned into clients. I've just made a lot of really good friends. I've met mentors. Like I say I suck. It's because every time I go to a speaking engagement or event, I'm in the speaker's room with people who are like, man, these guys are like 5 times smarter than me. They've done it more. They're way better at public speaking. So like even though I've gotten better, I've just been in a room with smarter people, and being the dumbest person or being amongst smart people. That are, like people that are smarter than you just have everything to gain. And so this whole year, I've been in a room 42 times or 43 times this year, or in 2017, of people who are smarter than me. At least 5 people that are smarter than me. And I've just gained and absorbed information, and I've just leveled up as a human being.
So exposure, networking, clients, referrals, people that you bought company from. So there's a lot of different things going on. We actually met in my attempt to get better at public speaking in improv class.
That's right, improv class. I mean, that's another way to get better at public speaking. It didn't end up working too well for me because what I would probably have gotten more value out of is stand-up comedy or something of that nature.
True.
I'm just not a funny human being when I get on stage. I like making fart jokes. And,
people find that funny.
You can't command attention with a fart. I mean, not the type of fart noises I make.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, once you get that's kind of going back to like getting your first gig, getting started, building a profile. Your first one is most important.
So get that first one. That's what you want people to leave with.
Yes, we'll get your first one. And your first one might not be the thing you're most passionate about. It's not about what you're most passionate about. It's about what you can get your first one with, right? Like, so I got my first one because I intentionally knew I wanted to build a personal brand. So I wrote a book on growth hacking at the time where the phrase growth hacking was less saturated and was on the uprise. Everyone wanted to hear about it. What the heck is it? And still, it still has that uptick, but it's got negative tone to it. But the other thing is really figuring out where is there so if you were to try to speak on growth hacking today, 2018. Look, there's like a gazillion growth hacking experts, right?
I know, so many books, podcasts.
In 2014, 2013, there was 3 books in 2013, or 3 topics, 3 articles on it. Now it's too saturated. So figure out what's the one thing you can do. Think about how you can zoom out from a topic or zoom really in. So maybe now growth hacking is saturated, but maybe there's probably a way to enter in saying how activation, user activation is the single most important thing, and talk about that.
Okay, narrow it down.
Narrow it really down.
So it's a scary thing to start in public speaking. I want you to look at the camera and tell them to start. Oh, fucking get started. Could you do that?
No, I can't do that because it's hard. Because just to get started may take you years or whatever, right? I don't know why I told you not to. But I'm gonna do it anyways. Just get fucking started. It's really not that hard. Why I can't do it from the beginning is because it is hard. Yeah. It took me 4 or 5 years. My first talk was in 2008. I think I sucked. I was on a panel. And I did a couple, and I was just like too nervous to get rejected. So my buddy Aaron Arendorf has a saying, and it's the hashtag. It's like hashtag let's get rejected. So get out there. Don't feel scared or whatever. You're gonna get rejected. Just go do it and figure out who you can make friends with or who you know already that is speaking. Maybe they can give you some advice. I've gotten so much advice from people, and just go out there and pitch yourself in an area that no one else is pitching.
Just get started. In the comments, please let us know if you want to start public speaking, what's the biggest thing that's stopping you right now? And we'll try to give you some resources to help. Anyway, Sujan, thank you, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, tweet at us, throw rocks at us if you want to.
Send us like vial of blood or maybe some locks of hair or whatever.
Please. No, anyway, I don't know. Thank you for listening.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.